Coming into one of my favorite thrift stores. It's huge and normally packed with stuff, which can be a blessing and a curse, as you'll see. First, I head over to the Glassware and look for Pyrex and such. Nothing of interest today except a common cranberry colored piece. There are colors of transparent Pyrex that are valuable, including some cranberry and some of the brown visions, but not this particular one. These year 2000 Mickey glasses are a common sight. They're from McDonald's and I actually own some. They're nice glasses. They hang out next to my Spock glasses because I'm an adult who requires pictures on all my cups. Are they valuable though? Not really. They're common, and even as a complete set of 4, it's pretty meh. Glass can be a pain, and I like a higher return than this for dealing with it. You might as well call this Fool's Pyrex. It's a green daisy glass bake pan. If you're just learning Pyrex patterns and pieces, these glass bake ones might trip you up because they kind of look the part, but they're ridiculously common and it doesn't seem like there's a resale market for them. They are pretty cute though. After I check the glassware aisle, I head to the back where the shelves are absolutely overflowing with toys, electronics, and bags. I still hadn't decided on camera settings and I had it set to narrow instead of wide, so my apologies for the small viewing window on this portion. I've sold these mini arcade machines before, but usually new in box from Walmart clearance. This one doesn't appear to be worth much though. Picking through these bags is tough because there's so many and they aren't grouped by any specific type of item besides being a toy of some kind. So I do my best to pick through and look for something to jump out at me, and nothing really does. But then I notice something vintage, and vintage is something that sets off my alarm bells. This is a Star Gymnast Jamie doll from 1998, and I thought it was older than that when I first grabbed it, but I guess not. And yikes, not many people are looking for her, so I'm gonna pass. Heading over to the big wall of toys, and it's hard to describe exactly what I'm looking for. Things I've sold before, stuff that looks old, electronic, expensive looking toys, stuff that's new in package, dolls, etc. None of this stuff is really catching my attention. A lot of these baby toys I've come across before, so I know they're not worth much. I thought this was like a fuzzy ottoman for an 18-inch doll or something, but then I saw it had a head, and I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to be. I thought this doll was pretty neat. She's got bendy arms and legs, but nothing on her that identifies what she is. For that reason, I didn't look her up, but if you know what she is, please leave me a comment below so I can find out. I knew what this was though. It's a Lala Loopsy doll. She's missing her donut-shaped skirt though, so I'm gonna leave her here. Then I headed into the most overwhelming aisle. It's all bags. Just random bags of random stuff. A lot of thrift stores have a wall of bags because that makes more sense from an ease of shopping perspective, but nope, this store just piles them up on shelves. It makes it hard to dig through, but I do the best I can. They typically put their health and beauty in these bags, so that's what I'm focusing on. Looking for any interesting brands and avoiding most of the hotel soaps and such. I'm not interested in selling a bunch of low-value sample-size stuff. I want a little more bang for my buck and less work too. Finally, I find a product that interests me because it's old Victoria's Secret and there's definitely money there. It's a Basic Instinct bath gel. But when I pulled it out for a closer look and touch it, it's pretty obvious that it's mostly empty. And man, that sucks. This next bag turned out to be way better than expected. What initially drew me in was the Radica handheld card game. A lot of the poker and solitaire games have value. Some are big money, some are in the $10 to $15 range. This bag was only $4, so grabbing it just for the one game was fine with me. The teal box was a set of Eargasm earplugs, and that was a nice surprise. There was no way of knowing if they were used or not, so I didn't bank on them in the store. Surprise, they ended up selling in just one day. My first sale of this bag and of the entire trip. But wait, there's more. Something else I didn't expect was there was an even bigger score lurking in this bag for me. A random baggie of these little tiny ceramic plates and cases. I wouldn't have known anything about them if it wasn't for this printout that somebody left in the bag that said exactly what they were. They were a set of Ted DeGrazia mini art plates. I couldn't find any great comps, just a few singles sold here or there. I decided to throw the lot up for $100 or best offer. Someone offered me $63 and I wasn't gonna argue. Sold. Next, I dug out a box of micro cassettes. I wasn't sure if I was gonna keep them or sell them. Sometimes I find things that use micro cassettes and it's nice to have one hanging around to test with, but I ended up selling these along. Small sales add up, and other lies I tell myself. I decided to take one last look at the bag aisle. I don't like spending all day in one store or one section, so nothing I do is a deep scour. Time to flip around and see what's behind me. Slightly less overwhelming. Tiny electronic things catch my eye. This was some kind of homebrewer thing that didn't have much value, so I tossed it back. So this sealed Puzz 3D looked really promising. This was filmed in May right after the big puzzle boom, and even then, this one had some disappointing comps. I might have gotten it if it were cheaper, but for $8, there isn't much meat on the bones after shipping something so big. Heading back to the last aisle and on to plush toys. Quick glance at pots and pans and nothing jumps out. Turn around and you can see me immediately speed up and grab something cool. I didn't even bother to look it up. Original Nintendo for $250, it's a no-brainer. I cruise on past this family and head over to the wall of plush. It's about this time that I wish I grabbed a cart, but this store has such tight aisles I try to avoid it when possible. I spot this Moana doll. She's not new or anything special really. Comps were okay, and in retrospect she probably would have been a good pickup for $3. But today, I leave her here for someone else to find. You'll come across these pillow pets and star projecting ones a lot, and they look like they'd be worth it, but they really aren't. At least none of the ones I come across. Alright, so this ET would have been a great find if it were the one with a light up finger or was electronic, but this was just a posable one and he was pretty heavy for no electronics. I didn't end up finding the exact one until I got into editing this video. He probably would have been okay to pick up, but I forget what the asking price was. This place prices plush individually and I hate that. They always ask way too much on recognizable characters. Barney is another one that's a pain to find comps on. There's nothing special about this one that stands out, so back it goes. This is why it's so important to look at the same aisle from a different angle. I was so busy with the bags, I didn't even notice the boxes on the top shelf. I'm so glad I noticed this on my way out. I sat it down to check comps, and I hit a home run. It never gets old finding an item that sells for over $100 that you get for under $10. Those 1000% ROI vibes. Head over to check the electronics wall, though I don't have good luck with sourcing electronics from this particular store. The prices are very hit or miss. Nothing jumps out, so out to the showcase. The showcase is where they stick things they think are valuable, and typically where all the video games and perfume are kept, which are two of my favorite categories. Today there is an uncommon sight though. The case is packed with old games, and I was here fairly early, so my guess is they were stocked prior to opening. Completely visible on top is a copy of Secret of Mana for $8. So I'm like that heavy breathing cat meme, like oh my god, where is the showcase worker? Finally, I get someone over to the case and start seeing what was hidden. A pretty good mix of original and Super Nintendo, though nothing as good as Secret of Mana. I start to look up comps on the games I'm less familiar with. The prices are all over, so some would have been worth it if they were a little cheaper. But I'm not paying $15 for a copy of TMNT Arcade though, they're crazy. I take F-Zero, which I thought was worth more than it was, and Secret of Mana. Buyers concerned with authenticity appreciate pictures of the game board. It helps verify that this isn't a recent fake. And that's it, all done, ready to check out with my finds. Not a big haul by any means, but that's pretty normal. You don't always have to leave with a cart full of slam dunks. The little wins add up too. For the items shown, I spent $24.50, and after shipping and fees, I profited $246.27. Not bad for one stop. That Radica game though, I guess they can't all be winners. Hey, thank you for watching that whole thing. I'll try and get better, I promise. In the meantime, you can follow me on Instagram at CosmicDealHeather. I post bolos and put a lot of daily thrift finds in my stories. I have no upload schedule whatsoever, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see me pop up again sometime. Until then, get out there, have fun, and find something good.